But before we get into that, a couple orders of business. Now, you guys might have noticed something. You guys might have noticed something on the start of the stream. I had a video that has the hashtag, or the handle rather, Queer Marxism. And you're going to say, Carlin, you started another fucking Twitter account? And I'm going to say, yeah, I did. But, you can't be mad at me because you can't dangle the handle Queer Marxism in front of me. I was literally shocked no one else had this handle. You can't dangle that in front of me and expect me not to start a Twitter account. My original plan was to do all of this through the Better Discourses Twitter account. That was the original goal. And we are still going to do stuff through the Better Discourses Twitter account. But here's the thing. I found out that the handle Queer Marxism was available on Twitter. And so I appropriated one of my old sock accounts that I don't really use for anything anymore, because the reason I used to have a lot of sock accounts was Twitter would not allow you to see people that had blocked you unless you had a sock account. And so I created a whole bunch of sock accounts. And now I can see whatever I want because Twitter removed the thing where you can't see people if they block you. You just can't respond to them or interact with them. So now I can see everything. So now I have all these old sock accounts and I'm like, these aren't being used for anything. So I reappropriated a sock account to take the Queer Marxism Twitter handle. And it's not verified yet because I just changed my profile photo. I'll be able to verify it in a couple days. But it is me. As you can see, I'm logged into it. We have our new mascot. We named him the other day. His name is Grigory, as in Grigory Rasputin. And he is the mascot, and he is the curator of what I'm calling the Queer Marxism Project, which you can find if you go to, wait for it, queermarxism.com. Because not only did I get the Queer Marxism Twitter handle, I also got queermarxism.com, which again, I don't know how the ever-loving F that hadn't been registered yet. And just to top it all off, I also have the Queer Marxism handle on YouTube now. So I started a YouTube channel just to put clips for the Queer Marxism Project. I started a YouTube channel that is youtube.com/queermarxism. So I'm literally just using this to upload clips so I can embed them on a website and to have kind of like a repository for them, because I was like, if it's available, I'm going to take it. So we now have the Queer Marxism Twitter handle, we now have the Queer Marxism website, and we now have the Queer Marxism YouTube. We should probably be registering Queer Marxism on some other stuff too. I'll have to work that out, but I really think that these are the main ones. And well, yeah, this is unironically something I like. I like when leftists learn more from my content than they do from their content, because it means I'm ahead of all of them on everything. And there's stuff that's being worked on behind the scenes on queermarxism.com that you guys don't know about yet and you guys can't see yet because it's not linked to the homepage. Right now, the only thing that exists on the homepage is literally an email sign up and some links, and that's it. But I am building something for this, because what I want to do is I am working on several books, as you guys know. One of the books that I'm working on right now is called Be Gay, Do Crime, the true story of the Mary Nardini Gang. You can find advanced chapters of that book over on the Red Menace Collective Substack. That is redmenacecollective.substack.com. But one of the things I wanted to do for that book, and also for a book that is literally called Queer Marxism that will, fingers crossed, come out in June, I wanted to build a companion website for them where people can go on and actually read the primary source documentation that I'm discussing in that book. They can view the pictures that I'm discussing in that book. They can find all the zines, all of the primary source evidence. So I had always wanted to build a companion website for this anyway, because obviously I can't put all the primary source evidence in the book, but I can link them to a place where they can go and actually just see this stuff for themselves. And what I'm doing is I'm creating kind of a museum of queer Marxism, a haunted house of queer Marxism, as it were, which is actually unironically a very queer thing to do. I'm just having fun with the branding of it. I'm creating something that's actually very basic. It's a repository of information to help people find stuff and look at stuff, because I don't believe you should ever have to take my word for anything. I believe that you should be able to go online and look at everything yourself and decide what you think about it. So I'm basically creating a very basic website to do that. I'm just zhuzhing it up with a little flair, and I'm really excited about it, and I'm having fun with it. And side note, Can I tell you guys, I was up until 4 a.m. last night using AI to debug this website. This is actually great because I know enough about building websites to be dangerous. I've been building websites since I was 15, but it's never one of like my primary things that I've done. So I'm not as good at it as some people, but I was having this massive problem on the part of the website you guys can't see yet last night. And I literally used AI to debug it. I said, AI, I'm trying to do this thing on WordPress and I have this specific theme installed on WordPress and I can't do this thing. And can you write me some code to make it do this thing? And it took a little bit of doing, but AI actually managed to like write the code to help me debug the very specific problem that I had. And I was like, oh shit, AI really can do everything. I was more of a tripod girl at first. I don't know that I ever had an Angel Fire website. I definitely had a GeoCities website at some point, but I liked Tripod. Tripod was my jam for some reason. I don't really remember why. I think I built my first ever website on Tripod. Anyway, that's something that I'm working on. And of course, we're going to be taking clips from the like, part of the point of all this is we have so many clips. And, you know, I've been thinking for a long time about, like, what is the best way to organize all of the information that we have? Is there a way? And this is part of where the Unwoke Wiki started out as a project, and the Unwoke Wiki hasn't died yet. It's just taking a nap. The Unwoke Wiki is just taking a nap. It's not died yet. But, like, this was the original thought behind the Unwoke Wiki. I was like, we have all this metric ton of information, and we don't have any place to send people where they can see it in one place, because when you have this much information, it's actually really difficult to organize. See, I should have gone to librarian school. This is what they teach you in librarian school. I'm having to learn librarian school on the fly, okay? And so what I've decided is I have several projects in mind. And this is just one of a couple different things that I think I want to build that are basically like warehouses for information. But what I've kind of come to learn is that we need to get focused in the way that we're presenting this stuff, which is difficult when you have so much of it and the breadth of it is so big. And so I think the idea of focusing in an entire initiative on, if you want the queer stuff, if you want the stuff related to this militant gender ideology that wants to abolish gender in the nuclear family and all that stuff, that's here. If you want this other stuff, that's over here. And to try to like segment this out a little bit, because that at least allows us some focus. And obviously, like, the queer stuff is kind of unique on the far left in that it is really extreme and really dystopian. And it's sometimes harder to present that among other material. Anyway, this is a very long-winded way of saying there is a method to my madness. And I know sometimes it takes me longer to solidify these ideas and these concepts than people would like. Like, believe me, there's no one that would like me to be moving faster than me. But I think that I feel very strongly that this is the right direction. And I feel very strongly that I've been saying for a minute, I think queer activism is making a comeback. After October 7th, we really saw the left die down in terms of queer activism, because basically all the energy got sucked out of everything else and put into Palestine, Palestine, Palestine. And we're going to be talking about what happened about Trump Tower today in a second. But all the energy got sucked out of everything else to put into Free Palestine. And now with Trump back in office, they're kind of going back to their greatest hits. And we are already starting to see an uptick and a resurgence in queer activism. And so I think the timing of this is actually really important. And the timing of this is what I think is actually going to make this successful. So I don't think it's an exaggeration to say that we can create the libs of TikTok of queer Marxism. What's going to exist on this Twitter account are videos of queer Marxism, are photographs of queer Marxism, of all the craziest shit, all in one place. And I don't care if people follow it because they just think it's crazy. I don't care if people interact with it, they just think it's crazy, because all of it's going to have nuanced commentary around it that we can control, that the conservative mouthpieces are not going to take away from us. And I really do think that we can work together to build this up actually rather quickly, if I'm being honest about it. If we all work together on it, we make sure we're retweeting things, we make sure we're sharing things, we make sure we're spreading the word about this, This is a very specific thing that is going to house some of the craziest clips that people have ever seen in their lives. And it'll be a place where we can constantly put this stuff. And we have the opportunity to build a really cool resource, and I'm already working on books for it as well, so that we can get all this stuff out into the public and people can actually just go and have places where they can go, where they can learn and see for themselves, okay?